We'll call this committee of the whole meeting to order on January 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anybody who'd like to speak under public participation this evening? Okay, for the record, there is no public participation this evening. We will start with item number 4, the oath of office, and we have several individuals here, so we will start off with Police Officer Edwin Negron Colon. Chief? Is it Colon Negron? Yeah.
Right up here. Stand up in front of the mayor, and city attorney will swear you in.
Yeah, well, we'll have to fix that. Yeah, sorry about that. Face the city attorney.
Please raise your right hand. Say aye.
I,
Your name,
Edwin Colon Negron,
and repeat after me. Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office of patrolman
to the office of patrolman
in the city of Lincoln,
in the city of Lincoln,
in the county of Logan,
in the county of Logan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of Illinois,
of the state of Illinois.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of patrolman
of the office of patrolman
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir. You'll need to sign right there. And I'm sure the other councilman just want to congratulate.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Wait for his family to leave. Next up is the oath of office for a probationary firefighter, Jared Rolfs. Jared?
Please raise your right hand. Say aye.
Hi,
Your name,
Jarrett Ross.
and repeat after me. Having been appointed
Having been appointed
to the office of probationary fire department,
to the office of probationary firefighter
verified, yes, in the city of Lincoln,
in the city of Lincoln,
in the county of
in
Logan,
the county of Logan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution
that I'll
of
support the Constitution
the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of Illinois,
of the state of Illinois.
and I'll faithfully discharge the duties
I'll faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of probationary firefighter
in the office of probationary firefighter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Okay. Next up is the oath of office for probationary firefighter Colton Grant.
Please raise your right hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Your name,
Golden Grant.
and repeat after me. having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office
to the office
of probationary firefighter
of probationary firefighter
in the city of Lincoln,
in the city of Lincoln,
county of Logan,
the county of Logan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of Illinois.
of the state of Illinois.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I'll faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of probationary firefighter
in the office of probationary firefighter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
You will.
One signature from you. The important part. I'll get him afterwards. Okay, next is the oath of office for probationary firefighter Dimitri Harris.
Please raise your right hand. Say aye.
I,
Your name
Dimitri Harris,
and repeat after me. I have been appointed
have been appointed
to the office of probationary firefighter
to the office of probationary firefighter
in the city of Lincoln
in the city of Lincoln
and county of Logan.
in the county of Logan.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of Illinois,
of the state of Illinois,
and I'll faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of probationary firefighter
of the office of probationary firefighter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Okay. Ty, floor is yours. Chief, sorry.
I just wanted to recognize firefighter Damian Larson, if he can come in. Firefighter Damian Larson has been with the department for 3.5 years, and he has made the decision to move on to different employment. That's something else I was going to say. His last day on shift is January 11th. He will be on the books until just beginning of February, somewhere around there. As much as I might not like it, I think it's important to support our guys and their decisions, and I wish him the best of luck and want to thank him on behalf of the city. Thank you, Damian. Thank you again.
Thank you, Chief.
See ya. Okay, moving on to item number 5. Lori Milosevic, LAR with Estes Bridgewater and Ogden, is here to give a presentation for the 2022-2023 audit. And Lori is joining us by Zoom. Lori, the floor is yours.
All righty, thank you very much. Sorry I couldn't join you in person, but the weather kind of took a little turn this afternoon, so. Hopefully Peggy gave you the audit reports. There should be 2 handouts. The audit report, which is about 95 pages. I will not be going through that. I prepared like a summary sheet. It's a 5-page summary sheet. It does start, the first page starts with the general fund. So if you want to pull that out, we'll just start with the general fund. I do show comparative balances, 2022 compared to 23. And we'll just start out at the revenues. Our revenues were pretty much similar to the prior year, $10,737,000. We expended about $9,626,000. We had some transfers in and out and some grant revenue. So we had a total net change in fund balance of $821,000. And as you can see, the prior year, $1.4 million, decrease of about $646,000. Our revenues maintained the same, but we did have additional expenditures of about $658,000 during the year. But you've got plenty of fund balance, so you did end with the fund balance of $7.4 million with the general fund. So your general fund is good and healthy. And if anybody has any questions, you can just stop me at any time. If you want to turn to page 2 of the handout, I go over the motor fuel tax. The general fund, motor fuel tax, and the ARPA fund are all considered major funds, and it is based on activity. So I did pull those out separately, and again, you can see the prior year numbers. Total revenues, $730. We expended $874. So we did have a net change in fund balance of about a negative $143. Of course, motor fuel tax funds are dictated by IDOT, so those are pre-planned and pre-approved. Those funds also include Rebuild Illinois, which I believe you have until next year maybe or the following to expend according to whatever is approved by IDOT. So again, your motor fuel tax funds are restricted for those purposes and can't be expended for any other outside. The next fund we present is the ARPA fund. And again, this is a fund that was created to collect all the ARPA grant funds that were received. During the year, we expended about $697, and we showed revenue of $697. You still have about $961,000 of ARPA funds to spend, and I believe you can expend those through 2025. So basically, we just defer those revenues until they're expended, and so next year either we'll show the whole balance spent depending on what you have budgeted for 24 and what you have budgeted for 25. And again, those are budgeted balances for expenditures and have to be expended accordingly. The next statement I present on page 3 are your non-major funds. Those are all your other small debt service, hotel motel, TIF, capital projects, and equipment rental. And all these balances are the combination of all those funds activity. So total revenues of $711,000. We expended $1.4 million. And then during the year, we did have some other financing sources. We issued debt certificates of about $366,000 and some bonds for about $491. So we did have a overall net change in fund balance of $506,000. So again, purposes for expenditures and revenues, and they are accounted for and tracked separately. Okay, at the bottom of that page, we show the, governmental funds. This would be the very first statement, if you're looking at the audit report, it is all the funds, governmental funds, the general fund, special revenues. And then the particular thing about this statement, we do add fixed assets, so your capital assets of the city. And then we also add the liabilities related to, the pension funds, police, fire, and general government, and then also your, OPEB obligation as well. So there's a lot of numbers on this one. We do have some support in the notes related to a lot of the balances here. I'll kind of go over your total assets, 53 million, which includes cash, receivables, your capital assets, and then, receivables related to pensions. And then under your liabilities, we do have all of your notes, capital leases, anything, any debt that has been issued in the city's name, for the general fund or any of those special revenue funds. I will point out in the hard copy of the report, starting on page 32, there's a good, analysis of all your debt, the balances, and then each one specifically has more detail of maturity values, any particular date that you want to look at in detail is included in the notes starting on page 32. And then your net pension liability, it is calculated every year. That's always the report that Chuck and I wait on. It is an actuarial valuation done each year based on the valuation of investments and the costs. So that is provided to us. We just report the numbers, basically. Any additional details on that, those debts are included on pages 41 through 69 in the notes. There's 20-some pages related only to your net pension liability. A lot of numbers included in that. But at the end of the year, you have total liabilities of about 80 million. So overall, you have, with the pension debt, the OPEB liability that we include in the audit, you had a net position of a negative 27 million. Now again, it's valued at the end of April, depending on the market and how investments did. Those numbers kind of jump around every year, but it does look better than it did last year. If you want to look at the pension liability, it went down about 3 million. And again, there's a lot of information in the notes related to all those net pension liabilities. Okay, the next statement we present goes over the sewer fund. And we just show the balance sheet, total assets of 34 million. We have liabilities of 17, which includes 2 loans to the IEPA for the construction. So we did have a total net position of 16 million. So your sewer fund is healthy. You have plenty of cash. You do have enough to pay off probably, to make the payments on the debt with no problem. And then at the bottom of that page, we do show the revenues and expenses of the sewer fund. And again, you can see operating revenues, 4.2 million. We expended 3.3, which doesn't include, I will point out, depreciation is the number that's calculated during the audit based on the use of the sewer treatment plant, the equipment, and it was at 1.2 million, and that is a non-cash expenditure as well. So overall, your change in net position for the sewer was 685,000. And again, the prior year, it was a lot more. You did get part of the IEPA loan for given. I think it was 2.2 million, I believe. So that does account for, part of that 4.7 million last year, which was kind of an unusual, transaction. Okay, and the last, statement we present on the last page goes over your police and fire pension. And again, you can see the, assets related to those, 15,925,000. And again, these are valued at the end of April. The market, I don't think it was a little better than it was last year. But I think the decrease in the investments is, market related. As you can see down below, realized and unrealized gains, losses were at 324 as a loss compared to the prior year, 1.5. So it did rebound some, but we're not back where we should be. So that does result in a net decrease of about 744,000. And again, those, investments are used in the valuation of those, net pension liabilities. So as the market kind of shifts, it does create that liability either up or down. So overall, for the audit, Peggy, their staff, and Chuck, everything we request is provided. They have it all ready for us. They have a lot to keep track of. There's a lot of funds. There are a lot of transactions that go through the system, and they do a great job of keeping track of everything. So all our recommendation is just to keep the same staff that you have and do the great job they do of keeping track of everything. So it was a good clean audit. We gave a unmodified or clean opinion on the financials. And we don't have any recommendations to the board for any changes or improvements.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Lori? Ms. Rolfs?
Lori, could we go back to the ARPA funds?
Is your microphone on, Ms. Rolfs?
Yes, ARPA funds.
Turn myself on.
Yeah, Lori, that was it.
Yes. I think your statement was that these funds had to be spent in 2020, at the end in 2025?
Correct.
Yeah, I believe that you can expend, I believe, through 2025 ARPA funds.
Okay. Does that have to be designated of what we're going to spend it for by the end of 2024?
Correct.
Yes, yeah, I mean, they should be budgeted and then expended accordingly, based on the parameters of the ARPA grant itself.
So as we look at this coming year budget, we need to try and make sure that those funds on paper are expended by the end of 2025.
The funds have to be used by 2025.
So, but that will be in our 2024, 2025 budget.
Yes.
Correct? Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Lori? Okay, Lori, thank you very much for dialing in tonight. We appreciate it, and for all your
Yeah,
work.
Sure. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Have a good evening. Okay, next item up is the item number 6, the franchise agreement between the City of Lincoln and Comcast. I can speak to this, and then Ms. Bateman was also in the meeting with me regarding this. So some of you may remember that a few years ago, we renewed the franchise agreement with Comcast, and we did it on a 4-year renewal. The reason that we did 4 was because we didn't want to get into a long term, but we didn't go less than that because laws require that they initiate the renewal process within that 3-year window. So, or outside of that 3-year window. And so we had it in place for a year, and then we started having conversations. It's now time to talk about renewing that again. This particular agreement, a couple points to consider is that it only pertains to cable services. It does not pertain to the new fiber services that are being installed in Lincoln. Okay. So Comcast is really the only provider of cable services at this time outside of a streaming option. Also, this is a non-exclusive franchise agreement, so it does not prevent another company from coming in, if they so choose, building the infrastructure or working with Comcast on theirs and starting a service as well. So those are bullet points we stressed. Mr. Conzo.
Mayor, yeah, I'm sorry to do this, and again, my apologies for not being able to be there tonight. Just to go back to the audit, and this may have been said and I didn't hear it, but didn't you want to put that on the agenda for the voting meeting?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
Again, I did.
Okay, thanks, Chuck.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Duly noted. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Everybody okay putting that on the regular agenda?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, item number 5 is on the regular agenda, Chuck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, back to item number 6. The only thing that has changed with this franchise agreement is the term. So this was a topic of discussion last time about what is an appropriate term for the agreement. They would typically try to get around a 7-year agreement, is what we were told. We put it in as a 10 and open that up to discussion for the council to consider. So you can accept what's been provided in the agreement, you can adjust it, but I think we would have to go back into discussions with them if you tried to do another 4-year agreement. It becomes a lot of extra work for them. Mr. Bateman.
Just for the public's knowledge, and you already touched on this, this does not stop any other company from coming into town. It's just they're the exclusive cable. And any company that comes into town wanting to do cable would have to, A, run their own infrastructure or make an agreement with Comcast on their own.
That is correct. Mr. Hoblet.
And a further designation of that, these fiber companies that are here, I don't know if they have the capability of providing cable. I personally have not utilized one of them quite just yet, this i3 or some of these other ones that are here. But as I understand it, these companies themselves, they're not cable, right? So they're fiber, they're different. So if they were to provide cables or TV services, it would be like a separate designation than that. Would that apply here, or I'm just?
It wouldn't apply to this franchise agreement.
Okay.
We would just have to go back to the table with Comcast and make them aware of that we would enter into a particular agreement with someone else. But you're correct. This is only cable for this, not internet.
Right. I would say I didn't know if these other companies provided those services, and if they're currently providing them, does entering into this. Well, we already had a franchise agreement with Comcast anyway, so I presume if they are, then it wouldn't be a problem.
This has been in place for
Yeah.
quite a long time. The only thing that is, another thing that's different from this time is that during the last renewal, there was the agreement with the college, and because Lincoln College has closed, that agreement is null and void at this point. And really what that meant was the programming services that are used on like the Channel 5 streaming and other services, that gave them the ability to do programming through the college, which they did. Now that has fallen back on us since the college closed. And quite honestly, we don't do programming, but what we do is we stream our meetings over Channel 5. And I am working with Ms. Metelko to try to find better ways to leverage that Channel 5 service to put events that are coming up with the city, such as the 10% sewer bill reduction, the coffee with the mayor, anything we're trying to get out to the public. We're going to try to stream that over Channel 5, but right now that's not in place. Mr. Parrott.
And I think, correct me, because you were here at that time. We had Comcast come in because we were not happy with Comcast and some of the services that they weren't providing as far as fixing issues, and services that are out, and, maybe cable lines that were down. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I think that's why we went to a 4-year you know, because we wanted to see them. And I haven't heard many complaints, you know, in the 4 years. Maybe we've had some. I just haven't heard about them. And then also, we get, do we get a 5%? Is that what it says?
Yes,
Was that the same as previous?
yes, that percentage has not changed.
And from year to year, is our 5% is our money that we're bringing in from this franchise agreement, is it going up? Is it staying steady? Is it going down?
I can tell you that. I ran 3 years worth. So fiscal year ending 2022, we got 178,063. Fiscal year 23, we got 176,183. And year to date for 2024, which we have one more check to receive, so year to date is 80,412. So a total over a 3 year period so far, 434,659 is what the city has gotten
Do they give us a monthly check, or is it like a quarterly?
quarterly.
Okay.
So we
'cause
get
I'm
4
thinking,
checks.
boy, we got 1 month and we only have 80.
No, we have 4 checks in a fiscal year.
So are we looking like you're gonna get close to what we had the year before? You think?
Well, we got 2 more checks to go.
2 more checks. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about that with the gentleman from Comcast. When you think about it, a lot of people are switching from cable to streaming services on the internet. So when that happens, this revenue stream can potentially go down. So I think as we move forward, we'll see that reduce. But I don't think it's going to be like a mass reduction. I think it'll just be small over time. For now, anyways. So something to consider when you're talking about a term. Mr. Bateman?
Well, that being said, since they want to start conversations 3 years ahead of time, I don't have a problem doing a 10-year because they'll have to start the conversation at the 7th year.
Correct.
So
Yep. And to Steve's point, yeah, we did talk about the issues before. There was services that were interrupted. It was difficult to get them on the phone. Alderman Downs can attest to that. I know he was instrumental in helping us get a communication sent out to the city with special phone numbers if we're having problems. I know that some of the department heads have that in case there's storms or weather that they need to get an update on. So they have that available as well. We did talk about the fact that there is no brick and mortar locally, but they've put other services in place to help with that and make that a little bit more painless, although it's not completely painless. And he did talk to us about their customer service. So if anybody's called Comcast, they know you get caught in this phone tree, right? And good luck figuring out which branch to go down. They're trying to work on that. They're investing, how many $1 million did he say in that project? Quite a bit of money to fix that, to make the experience better. So to your point, Steve, I think that they heard us and they're working towards improving things. Yeah. Yep. The Xfinity app that they provide can help with that as well. So, okay. Ms. Rolfs.
Well, pardon me. What was the rationale for going with 10 years?
It was an arbitrary year. We knew that we probably needed to be at 7 because it was a pretty tough negotiation last time with the 4. They really wanted to be at 7 because of all of the work that has to go in, and by the time they get this agreement in place, to turn around a year later and start the process all over, they were hoping to avoid that, and they don't do that with other communities. So when they were talking about 7, we just had a conversation, and 10 was an arbitrary number we threw out. The rationale was this. I think they've improved. I think that the agreement has worked out well. 7 years is kind of the mark, but we'll put 10 in and let the council decide what they feel is appropriate. The whole agreement is up for discussion for you to consider, so not just the term. But I will tell you, not much has changed in it. Thoughts?
regular agenda.
Alderman Downs?
If they're only asking for 7, I think we should only give them 7. So, I mean, 10 years is a really long time. I mean, I know they've been pretty good for since the last time they came up, but I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we had some pretty big issues with them. And I mean, so I don't know. If they're only asking for 7, I think we should only give them 7.
So, Alderman Parrott.
Yeah, I'm okay with 7 too.
Okay. So we'll place this on the regular agenda for 7-year renewal. And then we will go back to our contact at Comcast and ask them for a revised agreement.
I would simply
Alderman.
request that, sorry,
Mr. Oblett.
yes. I would simply, I do believe this is going to require an ordinance or a resolution, probably a resolution. So I will have that ready as well.
I don't believe so. I don't think we've done that in the past.
For a franchise agreement?
You could look.
Yeah, I mean, I would presume that it would, even just for the signing authority on it. So
Let us know next week.
I'll have it ready for the agenda.
The
if it needs to
reason
be
I say
there.
is I don't believe we've done that in the past, but double check.
All right, I'm pretty sure it's
We
pretty
do get
common
things
for other communities to do those resolutions for something of that nature. So
Okay. We will take your lead. Okay, thank you. Okay, next up is item number 7, GPS vehicle monitoring. Mr. Bounds.
So the council has expressed a desire to expand the GPS monitoring of all other city vehicles. That's the quote that's been presented to you. Has a total cost of ownership for the next 3 years of just north of $32,000. The breakdown for each individual department is in the memo. What kind of questions are we looking at?
Can you outline the benefits of having
So,
the tracking?
the benefits of GPS tracking, this should not be viewed as just monitoring employees for monitoring's sake. That is not the primary benefit of this. Primary benefit of this is a safety aspect. So we have had complaints in the past of, well, you had workers in the area and they took off too fast and it kicked gravel at my car and caused damage. This provider right here has already bailed us out of one of those because we weren't in the area. Here's the GPS log to prove that we weren't in the area. There have been some more recent incidents discussed where this has proven that employees were not arbitrarily using time at their discretion. This should be viewed as a safety tool, is what it should be. It has the ability to set speeds for individual vehicles, geofencing, just like Bird Scooters did, so we know when vehicles are in areas that they are not typically at. For me, for the sewer department, I have all of our lift stations set up there so I can see where people are at when they're at the lift stations doing rounds and whatnot. And I don't know. For me, it's a safety feature. Mr. Landers is a user of this. Both of our departments are already using this very extensively.
Mr. Landers?
Yes, so I use it extensively. I have it up on my monitor all day long, monitoring where things are at, where employees are. One of the things that I basically use it for, if we get a call that something is wrong or something needs to be done, I can go to the person that's the vehicle that's closest to that area, and we can send them back or send them over to take a look at it. So it provides some efficiency there. Also, I use it for our maintenance system where we monitor all our maintenance, and it gives us alerts. It tracks all of our maintenance hours and things like that and lets us know when equipment needs to be maintained for oil changes, lubrications. And there's many things that it can do if you dive into it deep enough. It can track costs, maintenance, repair costs, things like that. So it's something that I've used extensively probably since about 2017.
Alderman Bateman?
Do we have any city employees that use their personal vehicles for city business?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's rarely occurred with the police department. Sometimes if we needed to use a heavier truck than what we had, I've used my own vehicle, but it's a super rare occasion. hardly ever.
What about you, Wes? I know you got 2 employees and only 1 vehicle.
Yeah, I do. I am in my truck a lot, as opposed to the Jeep. I mean, it depends. I do a lot before I even come in, so, or weekends for that matter. Or Corey might be out in the Jeep.
For me, I think we should also budget in getting code enforcement another vehicle, a pickup truck. I don't think Wes should have to use his own personal vehicle. Not that we're trying to track him or anything, but I just, for liability purposes and everything else, I just don't feel it right that people are using their personal vehicle to do city business unless it is an emergency. So I think we should start looking for a used pickup truck. Let Wes work on that to meet his needs. And I think the city should purchase one, so that he's not using his own vehicle. If anybody else is using their own vehicle, speak up, so we can try to get the proper equipment for the city.
Yeah, we can budget for that. Ms. Ross?
I kind of would like to tag on to that. If we truly consider a possibility of even a part-time employee to help in that department, then do we add that to this, or do we wait till the next year to add on a possibility of needing another GPS system?
Well, I don't think that would pertain to this request.
Okay.
What we would do is if we did get another vehicle next year, not just in code enforcement, but in any department, we can add these capabilities to those vehicles as
Okay.
one-offs. Mr. Bateman?
I think when we had that discussion of possibly adding somebody, Mr. Meister would possibly have a retired police vehicle or a vehicle that could be used for that purpose. But I do know Wes does a lot of repairs down at the train station and stuff like that, and I just don't feel that he should have to put his vehicle through that. If he needs a pickup truck with a ladder rack or whatever he needs, we should get him the stuff to help him better do his job.
Yep. Ms. Ross?
Well, what do we classify as a vehicle? When I saw that Walt had 24 vehicles, I thought, what does that all include?
I have it on our vehicles and certain pieces of equipment. So our backhoe, end loader, skid steer, those pieces of equipment have a device on them also.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you had a fleet of cars out there that I wasn't familiar with. I was going to say, oh.
And also, so that everybody is on the same page with this, the police department, Chief, keep me honest, the police department has their own system that they use for safety reasons because of the line of work that they're in. I have asked for all vehicles, including administration vehicles, to have this capability should the council approve it. But there are some vehicles that cannot be tagged due to the nature of the work that some of the officers do, undercover, et cetera, things like that. Alderman Downs.
So I see that the police department has its budgeted or whatever for 2 GPS things.
Correct.
Would that be better under whatever GPS you guys are using?
No, it would be way more expensive. So the GPS,
okay.
the GPS units that we have at least 2 in every vehicle. One is incorporated with our in-car camera system, which was about $7,000 a vehicle, but last quote, since they upgraded the technology, I heard another chief say it was costing them almost $14,000 a unit. And then our in-car computer systems also have a GPS monitor. And much like Superintendent Landers, I have that on a screen in my office. So all the officers on duty, if you see a marked patrol car out, that car has GPS capabilities. The only 2 right now that do not for certain are the 2 administrative vehicles, mine and Deputy Chief Comstock's. The other vehicles, like we talked about, the work that those guys do, sometimes we can't make that information privy to
Thank you.
Mr. Landers, did you have something you wanted to add? I thought you had your hand up earlier.
No.
Okay. Alderman Bateman.
I think I would like the council to consider, not wait until next budget year, but have Wes look for a vehicle and bring one forward to the council, and we decide. I mean, obviously we got a healthy balance. I mean, I'm not saying spend an $80,000 pickup truck, but within reason, find a vehicle that suits his needs, and so he can get out of using his own personal vehicle for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we can talk about that. That's outside this request, though.
It is.
Yep, we can work on that. Gonna have to have a conversation with Mr. Conzo and where in the budget the money can be found. I think Wes went out and talked to dealers last time and found the best used vehicle, because that was a used vehicle. But if the chief has an extra vehicle that could be repurposed, we can talk about that as well. So,
At the current moment, we do have a couple of extra vehicles, but really we're looking at getting rid of those Durangos, and that's not something that I would necessarily want to give.
I think he
That's
needs
my
a pickup.
problem.
I think he needs a pickup.
Yeah,
truck, what he does.
when we're due for the next round in the fleet, it's absolutely an option.
okay. We will talk about that at a department head level and then bring that back to the council. Okay, so for this particular request, is the council in favor of the 3-year agreement as proposed
Yes.
for the money? Okay, so we'll place that on the regular agenda for next week. Okay, that brings us down to announcements. First announcement I have real quick is that next week, Monday is a holiday, so our regular meeting will be on Tuesday instead. So if that's not already on your calendar, please do so. Other than that, I don't have anything. Mr. Bounds, we'll start with you and then.
I would like the public and y'all to be aware, there will be a paper announcement being sent out, but starting on January 16th, the 200 block of Decatur is going to be closed due to a multifaceted utility repair. That plan on it being closed till Friday. We'll finish it up as quick as we can, but we need to be planning between Tuesday and Friday next week, 200 block of Decatur being closed.
Mr. Bateman.
Mrs. Bateman, did the notices go out in the sewer bills for the 10%?
Yes.
Has anybody contacted you yet? I don't have sewer. I know where all my stuff goes.
It's gone out and it's been published online as well.
Okay, so
A few people have called and they received it and they just call in to see if it's legit. Because nowadays you get all kinds of stuff in the mail. Don't know if it's a scam, but it is legit. We have a copy in the clerk's office of what everybody received. So
I hope people
it's
take
still on call.
advantage of it. I think it was very popular last year, so.
Well, I
Well, I
went in
think,
and
hold
talked
on,
to him about it.
hold on a second. I think are you talking about the 10% reduction of the bill or
Oh,
the
I'm
sewer
sorry.
line
I'm
protection
sorry. I'm
program?
sorry. You were talking about 10%.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring that sewer line protection
Okay.
program up as well.
Yes, it was a sewer protection thing. I'm sorry. Those went out, and everybody should be getting those that has sewer. No,
No.
I'm talking about the sewer repair insurance or whatever.
On the sewer line warranty packet that you'll be getting in the mail, if you have any questions, please direct them to the sewer line warranty company before directing them to the city.
Yes.
Yes.
And for the 10% off or percent off your bill, those went out into the statements.
And the dates are February 1st to February 20th
Uh-huh.
when you can sign up. So don't miss the dates if you're interested. Mr. Parrott.
Peggy, on that that latter piece that you were speaking of on the insurance, was that from that presentation that we had
Uh-huh.
before? Didn't they have 3 options also like interior for the house itself? You could do your sewer, your water, and then like any pipes or whatever inside your house.
Yeah, I believe that's what it
But
was.
and that whatever came out only included the 2, right? The Does it include all three?
No, I've got,
The final packet was supposed to include all three, I believe, but I have not seen an individual mailer yet.
you want one?
I'd be more than happy to take a
Because
look
I've
at
had
it, Mrs.
several
Rolfs.
calls, and of course, my husband gave me this one. But there are three here about exterior water service and exterior sewer, septic line coverage. Is there something that we need to talk about with regard to those?
Does it say anything about interior?
All it says is exterior there. Exterior.
I didn't think I saw the interior on it, so I just, maybe they pulled that back. I don't know.
I don't.
That could be. I'm not going to speculate on that. If you do have questions about this, please reach out to the sewer line warranty company.
Andrew, I'll forward you, because I asked for him to email me what was sent in the mail, so I'll forward that to you.
Okay.
What was sent out.
Yeah, one of the things after we discussed this at our session that evening is I did call my insurance company, and sometimes you have some of these things covered with your insurance company, so before you jump into this, you might want to check to see what your insurance does as far as coverage.
A diligent consumer should explore all options before jumping into anything. Absolutely.
So I think your recommendation of calling the company is, before you do anything, is great.
Mr. Landers.
Yes, tomorrow the street department staff will be moving through the town, picking up any Christmas trees that are on the curb. So that service will take place tomorrow.
Well, is there, what's the weather forecast here for, are we going to be pushing snow?
I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, so
Take a nap
it
and
looks
maybe-
like there could be, and I haven't really looked at the detail, but over the weekend or over the last couple days, and even the previous event that we had, you have fairly warm air temperatures, plus you have warm surface temperatures. It's going to be tough for any snow to stick, so it's going to melt basically as it contacts the roadway. And the event we had Saturday, you know, the temperatures were right at freezing, a little above, and plus it's going to go to 37 degrees. So, I mean, by 8 o'clock, I think, on Saturday morning, the streets were pretty much melted off. But that's because we've had warm temperatures and the ground's not frozen yet. Now, that's going to change coming up this weekend. We're supposed to have some single-digit sub-zero temperatures.
Zero, yeah.
And if we get snow along with that, we're definitely going to have to deal with some icing. And if there's enough snow, I'm sure that we'll have to plow also. So
Thank you.
I think we're headed that direction.
Chief Meister.
Tomorrow for a few hours, I just want the community to be aware that there will be an interruption in administrative phone line service to Logan County Dispatch. There will be no interruption for administrative lines for the Lincoln Police Department. However, our staff moves around. We're not always in the office, so if if an administrative or non-emergency line isn't answered, please be patient. There will be no interruption in 911 services, so emergency calls will still be routed through dispatch. There's a plan in place through Logan County for that. But just for those non-emergency calls, please be patient with us while they get their phone lines updated.
Mr. Bateman.
So there's just a few of us on an email. Tomorrow, the north side of the courthouse, on the courthouse side, all of Broadway will be blocked. They're bringing in semis and skid steers to remove a lot of scaffolding that was on the inside of the building. Those of us that have been hoping for the outside scaffolding to come down, we're still waiting. But just want everybody to know that, you know, they did have flaggers out there last time. So we did get the email that the Broadway courthouse side will have several semis and people out there working most of the day tomorrow.
Chief.
I hate to interrupt. But the email that I received, I think it said Kickapoo Street, didn't it?
Kickapoo Street is correct.
So it'll be the west side of the courthouse.
One of those streets will have semis on them, removing scaffolding from the inside of the building.
Alderman Parrott, did you have something?
Just a couple things. Peg, I don't think we've received the invoice yet for the murals, but that's going to be coming. Scott got in contact with me this past week, and then I was just going to ask Chuck real quick if he's still on.
He is.
On page 32 of that financial report, there he doesn't have a copy of it.
I don't have it in
Yeah.
front of me yet because I'm not.
He was out today,
Yeah, I
so
don't
he
have
doesn't
the
have the
report.
book.
Well, you don't have that in front of you, but on page 32, it has the notable payable or note payable to the Lincoln Memorial Hospital for $880,086, and I think that's because the city agreed to help pay for the road, the second road.
Yes, yeah, well, we did, we did. And that's, the Stall Hut Drive extension, I believe is what you're referring to, and yes, that's correct.
Okay, because I think part of the deal, and although I was a no vote on that, we needed a second entrance, and I thought the hospital should pay for it. But I thought they were going to put like a YMCA out there and some exercising, as I feel like the city didn't get quite what was led us to believe that we were going to get by installing that second road into the hospital. Has Memorial come back and said anything about any of that?
No, they have not, and I know they've changed some things at the hospital with, regard to the labor and delivery unit and other things. I don't know what the plan is for the YMCA or for anything that pertaining to that. I would point out though, with that loan, when we did this, we got this as a 1% rate, and that's it was good. It was great even at that time. It's even better now when you compare it to what that would cost. So, and I think those streets are a very beneficial addition to the city. It would not be good to have only one entrance in and out of the hospital in the event of an emergency. So I think no matter what happens going forward with the YMCA and the other things, I still think this was a good idea, and I think would benefit from having that, not only that second entrance, but having those streets back there for other purposes.
Are we about finished up with that payment for that?
I don't have that in front of me, but I think I know we're still a few years away, not real far. I'd have to go back and look.
Do you recall what the city's Do you recall what the city agreed to as far as helping to pay for that road?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that question.
Do you recall how much the city agreed to help pay for that road?
How much of the total cost?
That the city agreed to?
I mean, it's been a while ago, but you mean the percentage of the total cost, or do you mean
just the total of what the city agreed to pay for it?
That would be in the loan documents, and I do not have those in front of me where I am.
Thank you.
I'd be happy to send that to you tomorrow.
No.
Wasn't it around $1 million?
That's what I was thinking.
And then they presented us an option for
I think it was a little over $1 million.
And then they presented us with the option for the short 11th extension, and that was $750,000 additional.
We said no to that.
Turn that one down.
Yeah, because we still want to work on 5th Street, and I think we still have to work on 5th Street.
Yep, you'll be making that decision this year.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other announcements? Ms. Rolfs.
I received a phone call this afternoon, and it was a rather lengthy phone call, but the individual that called wanted us to know, the city to know, what a great job we did with the downtown Christmas lighting. I did inform it wasn't just the city, that the county was a partner in that, along with the business owners, but they just couldn't give enough positive comments about how great it was and how that just kept drawing them back to Lincoln. And I think that was just a great marketing piece for our downtown, because she didn't even realize that the parks were included with all of that. And so I thought everybody should know that we were very happy to be a part of that, and it was great, and hopefully we can continue. Oh, would you quit upping the budget all the time?
So, yeah, so I've been stopped on the street about that. I've had people stop me too. And I tell them the same thing. Yeah, I'm a give credit where credit's due person. And I'm like, the county played a really big role in that. They kind of set the bar pretty high. But, you know, the businesses, the city, it was a collaborative effort. One of the things that I think I spoke with some of you, and I've worked with Mr. Landers and Ms. Metalco, but next year we're getting electrical boxes installed on Woodlawn so we can bring back some of the decorations to Woodlawn. We got a meeting tomorrow to talk about, can we do something down Wyatt Avenue? You know, because if you've ever been in Sherman, that type of road looks really nice when it's done right.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it'd be nice if, depending on where we land on that, if during homecoming or things like that, whatever we put up could be leveraged by the high school for that type of activity. So more to come on that. But yeah, I mean, thank you for bringing that up.
This
because
person was from out of
great.
town.
Yeah.
Kept coming back.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's what we want.
I mean, sounds like we're doing something right.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Alderman Downs made the motion. Alderman Parrott second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Meeting is adjourned at 8:02 p.m. Bye, Chuck.